it's Nancy with Nancy's Nibbles of Life, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Nancy, and I'm on the WW Personal Points program. My 0-point foods are eggs, fruits and vegetables, lean turkey and chicken, fish and shellfish, beans, and corn and popcorn. I think I got them all. So, welcome back to the channel. I have such a great recipe for you today. I can't believe that I was able to make this recipe, and it's so easy. It's 0-point cabbage rolls. Can you imagine a 0-point dinner for your family that's really delicious and nutritious? Wow, I'm so excited to bring this to you. So the reason, of course, that our cabbage rolls are 0 points is because of the turkey. The 99% fat-free turkey is on my 0 points foods list. Vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, are also 0 points. In fact, I earn a point eating this meal because of the non-starchy vegetable, the cabbage. It's such a great recipe. You and your family, I think, will really love it, especially during these cool and cold winter months. So, enough talking. Are you ready to see how it works? Okay, let's go. Okay, let's talk about our ingredients. I have 1 pound of a ground turkey, and it is a 99% fat-free ground turkey. I have a head of Napa cabbage, beautiful Napa cabbage. I have 1 egg. I also have some water chestnuts here, sliced water chestnuts. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. We have some diced stewed tomatoes in the can there. Diced tomatoes and tomato juice, it says. I have about 1/4 cup of an onion, 5 cloves of garlic. I also have some green onion over there. Some vinegar. You're going to need a tablespoon of that vinegar. And we also have some salt and pepper and garlic powder. All right, I'm going to add all of these ingredients below in the description box. Now let's get started. We're going to use Napa cabbage because look at those beautiful long leafy green leaves on that Napa cabbage. It really creates a wonderful working surface for us to wrap these cabbage rolls in. And it's just such a great cabbage. Again, it's so pretty. So when you're shopping for your Napa cabbage, get a large one. Make sure it's kind of long. It just makes it easier for us, you know. Those leaves are your working space. So you want to make sure that you get a good size Napa cabbage. All right, let's give this cabbage a rinse. You know, sometimes it has little particles of dirt. So make sure you get it nice and clean. Okay, now this is a method that we're going to use to get our cabbage leaves pliable so that we can roll them. So go ahead and add your cabbage to a bowl that is microwave safe. So my glass bowl here is microwave safe. I'm going to add it to my microwave, but first I'm going to go ahead and add a top to it. So this is just a top that I have to a skillet that I'm using. I'm not going to add any additional water because that water that we use to rinse the cabbage, that's enough. Any more and you are running the risk of making that cabbage too pliable. So go ahead and microwave that for 3 minutes, okay? All right, let's move on. Now, to my food processor, I'm adding those garlic cloves, 1/4 cup of an onion. I'm also adding those spring onion or the green onions that you saw. You see that there are 4 of them here. Just a rough chop, adding those to my food processor. And we're going to go ahead and add these water chestnuts. Now, you could find these in the Asian section of your grocery store. So, think about making a meatball or a meatloaf. You need some type of binder, right? A cracker or a breadcrumb. In our case, we're going to go ahead and use this water chestnut. Isn't that clever? It's 0 points. It's a very crispy, almost like a root vegetable. So it will work as our binder, along with, of course, our egg. But it gets our filling nice and texturized, the texture that you want for, like I said, maybe a meatloaf. It's perfect for using in these cabbage rolls. So once you've got your veggies chopped in your food processor, you want to go ahead and add it to your turkey. Remember, we're using 1 pound of that turkey. And now we're going to add our egg and give this a good stir. Combine all of your ingredients really well, along with your salt, pepper, and whatever seasonings that you prefer. So, I am using a garlic powder on top of all of those cloves of garlic. I love garlic, but you use whatever you want. And I'm using a generous amount of that garlic powder because, again, I just love it. So we're going to go ahead and give this a stir. You know, I'll leave the quantities of seasonings in the description box. But you know what you like. You should season to taste, right? You're the cook. You know your favorite ingredients and spices to use. Just don't get too crazy. All right, there is our mix. It's nice and smooth. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and divide out the number of cabbage rolls that I'm going to use, and just kind of use this as a guide, right? It kind of makes the work go fast and easier. So just divide it by however many cabbage rolls you have. Okay, 3 minutes is up. We've pulled our cabbage from the microwave. And now take a look at how easy and pliable this this cabbage is to work with. Okay, it looks good. So here's our first piece of Napa cabbage. Take that mix, our ground turkey mix, add it to the center of that cabbage roll, of that cabbage, and you're just going to roll it up. Tuck it in on the sides, down the front to the center of that cabbage roll, and roll it over. And this Napa cabbage is so great, it just kind of tucks into it. Look at that, so easy. So we'll do a few more here. You're just gonna drop your filling in the middle of that cabbage, fold it over, and tuck it, and roll it right into the ends of that Napa cabbage. Look at that. So easy. You should get the kids involved. They would probably really love to do this. So, some of your Napa cabbage leaves will be a little bigger than others. So you just want to maybe add a little more filling to the bigger leaves. But again, just roll them over, tuck it, and roll it into the cabbage. And the ends of that cabbage acts like a little fastener, you know? It attaches really nicely. Okay, let's get a few of these done quickly. So I have here 7 beautiful pieces. Don't they look great? I'm telling you, adding that Napa cabbage to your microwave for 3 minutes, it gives you the perfect consistency that you want when you're rolling those rolls up after you've added your filling. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get our skillet warmed and add our diced tomatoes. So I'm using a can of diced tomatoes that has jalapeno in it. But, you can use whatever you like. I like a little spice, so when I saw the jalapeno, I picked it up. But of course, they have all kinds of flavorings. All right, so we're going to add a bouillon cube. So I'll make sure to add that to the ingredients list. Now, here is where we're going to add that 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Give that a stir and let that bouillon cube kind of melt into that tomato sauce. And then we're just going to drop our cabbage rolls. So, look at that. I've allowed my liquid to get nice and hot on us. I'm going to go ahead and add these cabbage rolls directly into my skillet. Be careful not to burn yourself. And make sure that you get a pot or skillet that will allow you to place them all in comfortably so that they're not squished and crammed. And I'm going to add the rest of my diced tomatoes on top. Now, I have to say that as I was cooking, I thought, I'm going to add a little bit more water to these diced tomatoes. So you might want to have a couple of cups of water by, just in case you want a little more of a saucy consistency to your cabbage rolls. So that's what I did. I added a little water. And there we go. Let our cabbage rolls go for a swim. All right, so we're going to adjust the heat to about a medium flame and just let it cook. As your cabbage rolls cook, you just want to check and make sure that they are all in there properly, that they're not crammed and sitting on top of each other, because of course you need that filling to cook, right? So you want to make sure that they are comfortably situated in your pot or your skillet. So the cook time for these cabbage rolls was about a half an hour. I love tomatoes, but sometimes the acidity gets to me. So I make sure that I cook them out because I don't want so much acidity in my tomatoes. So I've cooked these again on a medium flame for about a half an hour. Also, make sure you're tasting your tomato sauce so that you get the flavor profile that you want. I have to say that I did add a few dashes of an Italian seasoning that I had in my cabinet that I discovered. So just a few, splashes of that Italian seasoning. And I'm sure it just had some basil in it, those kinds of things. So taste it, make sure that it is how you want it to taste. Just, flavor accordingly. Okay, they are done. So the cabbage is still nice and crispy. I'm going to pull a couple of these out, add them to my bowl. 0 points at this point. Now I've gone and added a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese for a point. You don't have to, but for me, cheese is worth a point. I'm also going to add a few parsley flakes here on top. And there are my 0-point cabbage rolls. Oh, so good. And so pretty. This is a Sunday dinner for sure. Or you know what? Something really easy you could put together during the week for your family. So let's cut into this cabbage roll so you can see how easy it is. And also give you a look at that filling now that we've cooked it. And there it is. Really nice. And you can see those green onion. You know, the water chestnut that we added, it's a very mild flavor. You're not going to detect it at all. You know, all you're going to get is that very garlicky, well-seasoned ground turkey and your yummy tomato base. It's so good. Yeah, that's right. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, what did you think about those cabbage rolls? Doesn't it look delicious? I had that, of course, soon after I made it on that day. And wow, my house really smelled like garlic all day long because of the fresh garlic and, of course, those fresh tomatoes. One of the cool parts about this recipe is that you can sort of make it your own. You saw that I used those fresh stewed tomatoes with jalapeno. But there are other varieties of canned tomatoes on the market that are all 0 points, you know? You could use the one with the celery instead of the jalapenos, or nothing at all, just plain tomatoes. It's such a great recipe. You really have to give it a try. I hope you liked it. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow, which is what I need. And guess what? I look forward to seeing you on the next video. So until then, bye.